It's on. Good morning. How's everybody? I am too. I walked out of my house. I said, Reverend Amy, she's got to be having church in the park this morning. Huh? It was that kind of morning, isn't it? I am grateful that I am here. I'm grateful. I only got a very few minutes, so I can't ask you all how you're doing because it'll be a part of the conversation that we have, okay? Last week, I wasn't able to join you, but I did watch, and it was great. And Reverend Amy set us on the right track with Brene Brown's book, The Gifts of Imperfection. And in this book, she writes, that is, Brene Brown writes, love and belonging are essential to living a rich life. However, awareness of our worthiness, according to Brene Brown, is a crucial component required for us to experience love and belonging, this awareness of our worthiness. So I ask you this morning, are you aware? Are you aware? Do you really know? I think it's a vision statement. It says to be the authentic you. And this morning, though I'm speaking from Gifts of Imperfection, I'm kind of, Reverend Amy, doing a metaphysical interpretation of Brene Brown. Everybody's going to be okay with that, right? Come on, say yes. Help me out. Yes, right. So she discusses, in her last week, Reverend Amy discussed about her worthiness in her talk. I picked it up and I said, okay, this is where I start next week. And this is what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about worthiness. She had us say a Louise Hay quote. I know everybody remembers. But repeat after me. I am worthy of love, and acceptance, just as I am. Now, I'm going to push the envelope a little further this week, okay? I'm going to be even bolder. So repeat after me. I am aware of my worthiness. I am worthy. I am love. I am loved. I am loving. I belong. I know nothing is needed. I am worthy now. I had to give that scripture. I'm kind of a scripture person, so please forgive me, okay? But the Bible has a lot to say about love. Love is mentioned over 500 times, and that's in the Christian Bible. And in other texts, I'm sure, whether it be in a Quran or in the Torah, where Torah is part of love is all up in there. Okay? And we know it is because we profess what? God is love. God is love. Well, this morning's reading give us the law on love. We are told a law that is called the greatest law. And what is so interesting, I always have to say, if we're given the greatest law to follow, then we apparently, I assume, and I'm not doing that bad assumption, I'm doing a good assumption, that we have within us the wherewithal to honor and follow the law. I don't think I have a creator that gave me the greatest law, but didn't give me the wherewithal right now as I am to follow that law. You agree? Yeah, that's kind of like helping yourself understand what's going on. And so that law we were given, that we are to love God first, but we are to love our neighbor as ourselves. Now, I love that because we too often forget, if I'm loving you as me, I better be loving me. I got love. I have to be loved to be able to love my neighbor as myself. Otherwise, it won't work, okay? If I am not really realizing I am worthy, if I'm not realizing that I am awesome, I can't love my neighbor as myself. I can hate my neighbor. I can dislike my neighbor. I can judge my neighbor. But if I'm going to love my neighbor as myself, that tells me that God is telling me something about myself. Brene Brown writes this with the biblical reference, and then that's mine, but then she says, I'm willing to call this a fact, as was read this morning. A deep sense of love and belonging is an irreducible human need from the moment we're born until the day we die. She says we are biologically, cognitively, physically, and spiritually, and I want to lift up spiritually because that's where we're going to go, wired to love, to be loved and to belong. And the absence of all of that leads to suffering. Well, even with her saying that, I'm going to say, hey, I know nothing is needed. I know nothing is needed. Nothing is needed by me. Nothing is needed by you. What has to occur is what we are and what we have must be activated. Did you hear me? What we are and what we have needs to be activated. God did not give us this label, the greatest commandment, without the wherewithal to follow it. What we are and what we have must be activated. And in the moment of activation, we will become aware, consciousness is expanded, we'll become aware of our worthiness already, our worthiness that has been ours all of the time. Last week, Reverend Amy spoke of the value in owning your story, which is so important. And I want us to take it this morning. I want us to remember how it is important to own your, your truth. That's capital T, your truth. Because your truth is about worthiness, okay? How is that? What? The truth of my origin, the truth of my makeup, the truth will walk me into the realization of my worthiness, and that's truth with a capital T. Okay, that's the real truth, okay? The truth that I am worthy now, the truth that my value is, I am worthy now. So, sometimes in the midst of our human walk, you do know you're on a human walk, right? You know you're spiritual beings in a human walk. Yeah. You thought you were human beings, didn't you? You put on that costume. That's the costume you have on now, and it's okay. But we in the midst of this human walk, sometimes we get confused, and our truth is hidden or covered up from us, by us. It's hidden from us, by us. Brene Brown calls that the things that get in the way, okay? And it is then when we are confused by us, from us, how we did it. When we get confused, we begin to question our worthiness. And therefore, we begin to question if we have love, if we are love, if we are loved, if we are loving. We begin to question it seriously, and we walk it so tough that we begin to think we are flawed and that we do not have it. And that's when we walk into our inauthenticity. You know that word. You want to say it out loud, please?
Inauthenticity.
That's where we walk into there. We walk right into that. That we are no longer, as we function in that way, we're no longer functioning in our authentic selves. We have moved straight into the human costume, full-hearted, and left spirit somewhere saying, I'm here when you come back. I'm here to tell you that you are worthy. I'm here to tell you that you are loved. I'm here to tell you that you are belonging. But let me tell you how. As I was working with this, I became aware that I had worked this about 10, 15 years ago. And God wouldn't let me not work it again, not use this that I had put together. So we're going to go through this really quickly because my time is short, but I think it's important. We're going to see if we can do this. As I read Brene Brown's Gifts of Imperfection, what she was helping us do is what I like to say, there it is, mining for my gold. Because if I'm inauthentic, I may be real sure that I'm flawed. I may be real sure that I am not loved. I may be real sure that I don't belong if I am being inauthentic. But in my authentic self, when I am able to get back to my truth, capital T, I know the truth about me. And how can I do that? I mine for my gold. The gold is the worth. The gold, let's see what this says. How come I'm not doing it? Oh, I know. It's coming. Do I get help? Oh, okay. Only by searching and mining are gold and diamonds obtained, and man can find every truth connected with his being, capital T, truth, if he will dig deep into the mine of his soul. That's it. That's it. What I'm telling you is that we're going to talk a little bit about Brené's discussion of those things that get in the way. And we're gonna start unloading that some. Let's see. We're gonna look at keys that are effective in getting to the gold. The gold is getting back to our truth, capital T, in our awareness, in our consciousness. We want to get back there. We want to stay there. That's why we need to meditate. That's why we need to do what we do so that we can stay in the truth of our being, walk in that truth, and live in that truth. Well, how do we get started? I started off earlier, but I kind of came back around. It's important when I feel like I am not worthy, when I feel that I don't have love, I'm not belonging, I have to remember a higher power created me. And that higher power, what? Does not make mistakes, does not create junk, but only creates magnificence. If I can hold on to that, I can start moving away from that inauthentic stuff that's covering up my truth. God said, let us make people in our image to be like ourselves and breathe the breath of life. I am more than a human being. Please repeat that. I'm a spiritual being. I am unlimited, unrepeatable phenomena. I am the gold mine with the gold nuggets. And what are that? I mean, getting to the goal, you want to get there. Whenever you're feeling like you're not belonging, you're not loved, you want to get to the goal because you know you have bought into some stuff that just isn't you. You want to come to a new or renewed realization that you are a gold mine with unlimited nuggets. Those gold nuggets, those valuable nuggets. What are those nuggets called? What is that gold? That gold that I'm talking about that's within you. And of course, it's metaphorically, everybody, okay? Okay, it is sacred. It's altogether excellent and admirable, okay? And jump to the bottom. What is it? It's love. You are an absolute love being. That's what you are. I can't help if you want to be grumpy and mean. I can't help if you want to be judgmental. I can't help if you want to get angry with somebody because they were mean and are saying yucky things. That's part of the human stuff we pick up. But your gold is your love. You came here with it. It's intrinsically a part of you. And when you start, well, let me tell you what we got to do to get to it, because sometimes we do get really inauthentic, okay? What are the tools to be used to remove all of the muck and mire that's covering your gold? The muck and the mire that's covering what you are, your authentic, it covers up your love and it covers up the knowing that you have that you belong. Are you one with God? Oh, a couple people say they are, okay. Well, Piper, I'm going to ask you. Now I'm going to ask again, are you one with God? Yes. Well, then you belong. I don't care if another human being ever says anything to you. You belong. And if you need to feel that belonging, what do? You pray. You turn within. And you ask that wonderful partner, that wonderful creator, that wonderful, however you want to define God, what do I do about this particular situation? Okay. Yeah. Well, here's some of the muck and the mire, which Brene Brown would call shame. Under the umbrella, all of these things could fit under the umbrella of shame. And it's the muck and the mire that covers your goal. You get this crap on top of you, and then you forget who you are. You forget your authentic self. You get ageism, funky fear, internalized negatives. You get somebody called you ugly when you were 10 and you still got it going on inside of you, okay? Sabotage self-esteem. You can't do that. You don't have the right, blah, 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 whatever it is to do that. And you took it in. You took it in, and it sabotaged your self-esteem. And that God within, the love that you are, is wondering, what is wrong with her? I'll just talk about me. What is wrong with that girl? I made her perfect. I made her whole. I need to help. What are some of the other things that are muck and mire covering your goal? Pain from past experiences. Fossilized unforgiveness. This is one where all of us have to be really careful because it will cover up your authentic self, which is love. It will cover up your authentic self, which is joy. It will cover up your authentic self in such a masterful way that you will truly know you're a human being hating that person. Mm-hmm. And then there's perfectionism. And that I added that one because Brene Brown talks about it. And perfectionism is really something that will cover up your truth. Your perfectionism doesn't come via your human accomplishments. I can't help how many degrees you got, how many letters you got either before or after your name, how many dollars you got, and it doesn't matter. Your value, whether you are, as I love to say to the women at the conference, whether you're standing on the middle of State Street butt naked or whether you're standing there with a sable coat, doesn't matter. Your value is the same. Now, the clothing you got on will be different, but your value, your truth is the same. So what are you going to take when mining for your goal, when you're getting back to your truth so that you can live and know how to exert and use that which you are, love, how to know and remember that you do belong, and therefore you can use that energy to have someone else feel that they belong. You got to pack a light. You've got to, I love, she says, if you don't look at the trouble, you will never, ever be able to let it go. You have to confront whatever it is that you deem your problem. You have to confront that someone called you something 100 years ago and you still have it in your soul that you're working with it. You have to confront that you are not forgiving somebody because they did something and it was so terrible. How could you possibly forgive it? You have to confront that. You got to pack a light, look it straight in the face, and then use truth, beliefs, words, and feelings. Use all of those to help you come to the truth again about yourself. We lose ourselves in our human walk. We lose ourselves in our human walk. I'm going to say it again. We lose ourselves in our human walk because I am a spiritual being, first and foremost. And long after this body is gone, I will be a spiritual being. That's another conversation, Reverend Name. But we wear comfortable clothes and carry a pillow. What I'm saying about that is let go of stuff that's holding you back and tight and all tight, got you all tight and uptight. Let go of it. And rest. When I'm saying rest, I am really saying rest in a way that you do when I did this morning. Got up very early and went up in a sunroom in my place and just looked out. And I just sat there, and my eyes closed, and I was absolutely resting in my God. And I was able to know that even, name me no names, had made me so upset, it was all right. There was a reason for it, and there was a truth out of that which I was to expand and grow, and that person was too. So we want to, when I'm mining for my goal, when I'm trying to get beyond those things that are holding me back, those things that Brene Brown calls shame, when I'm trying to get beyond it, I've got to be able to confront it. I've got to be able to remember what my truth is. my beliefs are, what my feelings are. I've got to then use those, and I've got to relax and make sure I'm getting enough rest. Ageism. We can't go through each of them this morning because Connie's going to hold up a card and say, you got 5 minutes. But I want us, particularly in this world we live in, this is a big thing, okay? There was a time that I wouldn't say what I'm about to say. I'm 76 years old. And guess what? I'm going to be another 76 in another 76 years, okay? I can't let that stop me from doing what God would have me do because my human form, whatever, or because people may think, well, she's too old. And if I take on that, I'm covering up my truth. I'm covering up that I am wonderful and worthy. I'm worthy of your love. I'm worthy of belonging with you because that's just the way it is. Unless I cover it up. And if I cover it up, I can't blame you, which I often will do. We're going to move past. This is all about, Robert Browning said, grow along with me. The best is yet to be. Okay? So if any of you are sitting here right now under the shame of ageism, you reached 40. Oh, my God. What am I going to do? You reached 50. I didn't get accomplished. I didn't do it yet. I don't have to. You reach 60. Oh, Lord, I never will be able to do it. If you have any of those kinds of things playing, covering up your worthiness, break it apart. I love Johnny Coleman. She used to say, age is just a number. Now you do with it what you want, okay? Funky fear, oh my God. To remove funky fear of anything, and you name your fear. All kinds of fear can be buried, covering up your love, covering up your worthiness. To remove funky fear, you use your faith. We came here with some powers. I'm made in the image and likeness of God. I am faith. And when I get afraid, I need to activate my faith. I have it already. I don't need any more. As a matter of fact, the Bible says I only need a mustard seed worth anywhere. But I have all that I need, but I have to activate it. I have to become conscious, aware of it. I have to just use it and not allow fear to be the driving force in my life. Faith in who you are, not who they say you are. Faith in who you are, not in who they say you are. What does that say? Honor. Read it. Let me hear you say it loud. Honor yourself. Let's say, I will honor myself. I see beyond what is to what can be. I see beyond what is to what can be. Sabotaging self-esteem. Lovingly confront your adverse thoughts. Too often, we have a thought about ourselves that was planted long before we even realized it was being planted. And they use all kinds of stuff to make it grow, okay? We need to confront it. I need to confront. There was a time when this little girl could have, thank God for the 60s and Black power, when she would have thought she couldn't do it. She was too black, she was too this, she was a girl. I had to confront each and every adverse thought to come to this phenomenal woman that I am, right? Thank you. It's important that it's hard sometimes to confront adverse thoughts because you don't want to think that you have that thought about yourself, that you feel like you're a failure. It's hard sometimes to do that. But unless you do it, it's covering up the truth of your being, your authentic self, which is perfection, which is love, which is joy, which is peace. It's covering it up. And you have to, as Brene said, you can't stand on the edge and look at it and think something good is going to happen. You have to break it apart. You have to walk into it, okay? Lovingly and intentionally release them and those in your environment that are enablers. You know, if you have somebody in your environment that's continuing to help you hold these sabotaging self-esteem ideas, you need to let them go. And that's sometimes the hardest thing, because it could be somebody who's close to you. Okay. Carefully and consistently replace them with the truth about who you are. Read the end that I repeat. I easily. Now I want you to read it again, and I want you to read it like you mean it, okay? I easily release mental thoughts and emotional vibrations. Okay. To remove sabotaging self-esteem, what do? Regularly remind you of who you are. Be aware of your thoughts and act intentionally. Act intentionally. Don't slide into some behavior. Don't get angry because somebody is saying something that pains you when they say it. Remember, no one can do anything to you except you. You have full control unless you give your power away. Easily move my mind from the tomb of doubt and despair. Yeah. Pain from past experiences, the let go tool, let go of regrets. These are things that all could come under that umbrella of shame Brene Brown speaks about. And if you have pain from past experiences and you don't address it, it will become a pain that is so painful that you won't want to get out of the bed. You'll forget your truth of love. You'll forget your truth of belonging to God, the Most High, therefore making you, oh, by the way, you are one, right? Oh, okay. So you belong, right? If you're one, you belong. But we forget that because that human form takes over and becomes our boss. Recognize a blessing or a lesson from such experiences and thank God for that blessing and lesson. Repeat, I shall not let my yesterday. That should be S-T-E-A-L, but maybe it could be S-T-I-L-L. Steal my joy from today. Steal my joy from today. Remember what I said. Remember who you are. Remember your perfection. Remember your truth, capital T. All of these are little t's that have become our truths. They are not to remain in power. They are not to remain in power. Unforgiveness. I only got 4 more minutes, so I can't handle unforgiveness the way I really want to. But this is that which will cover you up in such a powerful way that it will keep you up under the bed. Not under the cover, up under the bed. Okay? Forgiveness is moving on, not necessarily forgetting. Forgiveness is letting go of my painful emotions as I let them go. Forgiveness is accepting myself and others as children of God. They did the best they could. Whatever they did the best they could. It had nothing to do with you. It had totally everything to do with them. Don't let it become that which is covering up your perfection, covering up that intrinsic greatness that you are. Forgiveness is for our own personal inner healing. I'm going to come all the way now to the end so that I can get my prayer in. Mining for your goal, remembering your truth, is a lifelong transformative process. And the older you are, the better you are. The better you are, the better your life is. Remember your origin. Remember your origin. You are a gold mine. Use the tools. Clear out the muck and mire. Pull out your gold nuggets. That's that love. That's that remembering that you're belonging. That's reminding you that you can love everyone and create your desired and deserved life experiences now. Get from under, as my friend Brene Brown, as the author, she's my friend in her reading her book. Let go of the shame. Let go of anything that connects to the shame for you. And remember, as I said, your origin. Okay? You okay? You got it? Uh-huh. Okay. So let us, right now, come into that time where I'm going to have us remember our origin, remember who created us, and therefore remember that I am that truth with a capital T. And I say, Father, Mother, God, thank you. Thank you that you are a loving, gracious God. Thank you that you've created us in your image and likeness, God. Therefore, we are loved and loving. Thank you that your love is perfect. It never fails, and that nothing can separate us from your love. We are love, as are you, God. We pray, God, that our lives would be filled and overflowing with the power of your love so we can make a difference in this world, so we can bring honor to you. We ask, God, for your help in reminding us that the most important thing we are not what we do outwardly, God. It's not based on any talent or gift, but the most significant thing we can do in this life is simply to activate our love, God. Activate that power of love that we came here with by loving you and choosing to love others. Lord, thank you that your love is patient. Help us show patience with those around us and have patience shown towards us. Lord, thank you that your love is kind. Help us to extend kindness to others and have kindness shown to us. Lord, thank you that your love does not take into account a wrong suffered, and neither do we. Help us to love as you love, God. Help us to love as you love. We have that power. Let us be guided by your indwelling spirit so that we may choose what is best. Oh, we sometimes appear weak, Lord, but we know also that even then, you are strong within us. Thank you, God, that it's not all up to any human endeavor. Thank you that you equip us to live each day with the power of your love and your grace. I am love. I am loved. I am loving. I belong. I know, God, nothing is needed. I know nothing is needed. I know nothing is needed, God. And so it is. Amen.